That's a good volume.
Yeah. I'm ready for it.
Welcome. Here we are at FCP Euro. We are en route to Roots Classic 2K24.
Good to see you guys today.
Thank you for coming down and joining our escapade. How many hours was it here to get to Milford?
That was a casual 9 hours, I believe.
Very nice. Oh, look who it is over here. It's Mr. Scott Norton himself.
Hello.
Talk to us, Scott.
Wait, what's going on? What's happening? Oh, no.
How are you doing today, Scott?
I'm
It was
be-
nice of you to come visit us.
I'm better than you today
Good, good. Why are you better than me today?
because I'm successful.
This is a successful businessman. Why don't you show us what you brought today, since no one's going to get to see it this weekend.
Okay, let's go.
take a look. Scott's also a true pioneer. He's driven this car to Georgia and all over the country. No blue tape or anything. He just drives it like a man.
Yes, you should be driving your cars all the time. Take the car.
Why are you putting those caps on right now?
Because we're driving the Roots Classic, and better to be safe than sorry than to lose them on my road trip from Canada.
Here's some more gentlemen here at FCP. This is Nate. Nate Brown. Nate Brown is an employee here.
I am an employee here. Hi, how's it going, Toby?
Great. Thanks for hosting us here.
Of course, thanks for coming out. Thanks for hanging out.
Will you be joining us?
I will not be joining. I have to work.
Gentlemen, allow me to interject here. Let's talk. This is Mike, aka Upstate Mike. We won't use his last name. I think it's Irish or something. O'Mickle, O'Callaway. Let's see what Mike has. He's got something really cool here. It's the only one in North America. 100% factual, correct?
That is correct. Yep. It is a 1992 Biagini Passo.
Passo.
Passo, yeah.
I won't remember that.
No, you shouldn't. It's fine. Yeah, it is basically a Mark 1 cab body on a Gulf Country drivetrain, suspension and everything. And
Sorry. So it's the same underbody as a Gulf Country. I did not know it's the exact same thing.
Yes, yep. And it's got Fiat headlights, Opel taillights, and it's 100% stock.
Fantastic. And what's the maximum speed in this? 59.5 miles per hour?
I've actually had it going. I cruise at like 80 in this thing. It's pretty good.
That's impressive. That's impressive. This interior is fantastic. Sam should definitely get some shots of it. It's a unique fabric color pattern for a Volkswagen. I wish through the camera that you could feel this fabric. I'm not suggesting that someone touch another man's possessions, but I have a feeling Mike would allow, if your hands are clean, to touch it if you happen to see it somewhere. It's very pleasant to touch. But yeah, also this dash is very unique with this additional roll bar.
Yeah, it's a stock dash with a weird O-ship bar added to it. So.
Well, thank you for your time and thank you for sponsoring this event.
Of course.
We also have Mr. Brett Sloan here of Sloan Motors. He has 2 cars in our motorcade.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Brett. I hear great things about you. Tell us what you have here. Point it out here.
This is a 91 GTI with a VR6 swap, and then we also brought a Mk1 77 with a 16-valve swap on carburetors. They're acting up right now.
Big surprise. Now tell us how one man intends to drive 2 vehicles at the same time.
I have the legendary Sam Dobbins driving the Mk2.
And we're going to get some fantastic rolling shots, just like the old days when people would do these cruises. How do you feel about it?
I hope you flash us on the way going down.
Well, maybe I can get my partner to, but we'll see what she says. Oh, that's Billy. Okay, I know who. All right, we're here back with Scotty again. Now, I noticed that you have a Duncan in your hand. I thought you Canadians only do Timmy Hortons.
No, I'm not a Tim Hortons guy back home, but Dunkin's good enough when it comes down here, so it'll do.
You're not a Tim Hortons guy. I thought it was
No.
just part of a rite of passage to be a Canadian.
It's a little cliche, but no, not my thing.
Okay, if you say so, eh? All right, tell us about the car. Give us a little rundown here and visually show us if you can talk and show at the same time.
Well, it's just a Golf, really. It kind of showboats as a GTI, but I just like the badge on the front. I got it as a stock VR in it already from my cousin probably, 15 years ago. Engine was pretty tired, so I did a ground up all motor rebuild on a big valve head, forged pistons. It's just 2.9 now. Did that, I think I finished it in 2010 or so. And then it's been lived a hard life ever since then.
Both Toronto boys have a custom latch. I see a theme here. I love it.
So, yeah,
I love it. I love this. I love that it's more OEM looking.
Well, and Yeah, that's kind of the reason behind the license plate with the Just a VR was, it's kind of looks like a stock VR when you pop the hood, but I mean it's anything.
But I know it's the 2.9, and you have
2.9.
all that work done that you just said.
Yeah, it's about
Which I haven't memorized, by the way.
That's okay.
I already
No.
forgot half of it because it's all kind of a blur. But we get the idea. It's got a lot of oomph behind it, and
Yeah.
I know that you're one to not pussyfoot it.
Oh,
you
no.
really keep your foot in it.
No, this car gets driven.
Oh! Here we have another special visitor, Mr. Zach DePiero. One of my happiest people. No, show us how clean your hands are. Look at those hands.
Nice and clean.
He's always got nice, clean hands.
Nice
No,
and spray painted.
I'm glad that you showed up here. What are you working on today?
The Scirocco.
The Scirocco for Overcrest. Fantastic.
Look at it. It's not here. Oh, it's at the house.
Are you coming this weekend at all?
Oh.
Do you want to tag along in our back seat?
I've got a passenger seat.
Yeah, let's go.
Your wife won't care. She'd probably be thrilled if you were
She
gone.
don't give a fuck.
Hey, no cursing on here.
Oh, my B.
Just kidding. We're looking for Brett. Just so everyone knows, Brett's holding up the whole cruise here. Tell us why, Brett.
Because my car sucks.
Billy, what did you just do to the car?
Nothing. Didn't do anything.
I think sometimes it's better to just leave things alone.
I think so.
Otherwise, we start to go backwards, and then we're all going to want to kill you. So let's just call it good. Do you two agree?
Agreed.
Thank you. Here we are at the John Bon Jovi rest area on the GSP in the state of New Jersey. We had 5 Mark IIs cruising and filming. It's been quite a few years since that many have been on the road together in this fashion, at least in my presence. For some unknown reason, New Jersey names all their rest areas after famous personalities. Perhaps one of these gentlemen we've come across in the parking lot can explain to us why. One that stands out to me, he's easy to spot, is a man named John Vanek. I believe it's a silent V. He has this Kamei kitted Mk2. John, nice to see you. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, Toby. I'm glad to be here at the John Bon Jovi rest stop here in the Garden State Parkway.
Do you happen to know why this state names them after famous personalities?
They used to live in the structure that they're named after. So John Bon Jovi actually lived here.
See, that's something that we learned.
His guitar is right above the entrance. John Bon Jovi was also 13 feet tall, if you didn't know.
I did not know that.
That's why the guitar is so big.
Now, John has had a plethora of Mark IIs with, let's say, oddball body kits and more non-typical styling.
Acquired taste.
Acquired taste,
Acquired
that's a good way
taste,
to put it. He had a Jetta with various parts on it that is gone, and if anyone follows him, he's had this car how long now?
This particular car?
Yes.
Since 2018. Early
So
2018.
2018, and he's gone through a number of phases. One of the most recent ones in the last year has been a full respray and everything glass out, fully redone. It's really goddamn nice.
Well, we've swapped out the wheels. The wheels were originally smaller. They were 15-inch Fittipaldi twists, which were a nice throwback style, but 16s on a car with flares like this just fits better, in my opinion.
I agree.
Also, we did new graphics. Originally, the graphics were Kamei black. It was actually out of the kit, but we had Zoran over Scrape Empire. He designed these from scratch, and we put them on in my garage, and I think it looks great. It's totally different. It's very eye-catching. We've also done, what else have we done? Different cluster. We can move on to the cluster if you'd like. We've done different front end. Trying to make
Let's
the
just
car
follow your lead. Show us what you think. Well, while you're walking to fill air, tell us what the name of the kit is.
This is the X1 kit, designed by Kamei. The rear flares, originally we had 4-door flares. It's a funny story about this actual body kit is Collective East, Fletch over at Collective East had this kit about 10 years ago and it was cut in half. So the front and rear valances were cut in half, the side skirts were cut in half, and it kind of just made its way around the East Coast. Nobody fixed it. And Matt over at Eurocraft acquired it, and he said if you could fix it, you could have it. So I took it to a guy who repairs boats with fiberglass, fiberglassed the kit back together, and the rest is history.
Fantastic. Why don't you show us some of the other highlights of the automobile?
Recaro CT seats.
CT. Now, what are those?
These seats,
give a better description of what those may have been in, or they're just an aftermarket option in general?
Just an aftermarket option. These were never installed in a car or anything like that. Swift stitch upholstery matched the rear. We have a cup holder for your cup. Look at how cool that is. We have Votex center console. Reproduction DigiFizz cluster. Phol Labs on Instagram, PHOL_labs, designs these reproduction DigiFizz clusters. I've had both versions of them. The first version was pretty decent as far as a concept. The second version is fantastic. I'll fire it up for you if you'd like to see. He did an outstanding job on this.
Tell us about the steering wheel as well.
Zender Sport steering wheel. Pretty subtle, I think. It looks almost OEM.
I agree.
And again, I mean, the interior's got a theme of just red and black and cleanliness, you know what I mean?
Okay, so continuing with John here, we've now lifted the bonnet, and let's let John take it away here. Everything looks very OEM plus, I have to say. I'm liking those finishes. Go right ahead.
So the car is obviously OBD2 swapped VR6. We used a fabless manufacturing kit to install the engine. We also decided to clean it up and, like you said, make it look very OEM with the non-secondary air Corrado airbox.
For some reason, those airboxes really turn me on. I find it very satisfying as I get older and older. Everything about that airbox is very thrilling to me.
It's very clean. Again, we wanted to make the car not so much performance-oriented look, but just something that looks like should have been in here in 1985.
When people see this video, if you ever come across this car in person, be sure to make the effort to go talk to John. Not only is he owning a very nice car, but he's a nice gentleman as well. Thank you very much for your time, John.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's not a Volkswagen. I gotta check engine light. PO 341 camp position center. Yeah. That works.
So we've migrated into a one Richard Pugh's Mark III Cabrio, not a Jazz Brio. It would be cool if it was a Jazz Brio, but it's a Cabrio. And Rich Pugh, if anyone's a really old motherfucker, you would remember he had a very notable Mark II that we all used to masturbate to photos of on our walls, myself included. On a different note, we have now started to do some rolling shots. It is Thursday evening at Roots Classic. It is about 20 minutes till sunset. What's the dew point right now, Rich?
It's pretty steep, honestly. It's probably about 70. But the temperature's only about 65, so it's wet out.
So, we, as in Sam, has decided that we're going to do a nice group photo of rolling shots. So we have a wide array of Mark 1s and 2s primarily, and coincidentally, most of them are from Canada, eh? Those guys are the best. They're far superior to us Americans, don't you think?
Quite. All right, what lane you want me in?
Left.
Okay. This is awesome.
Yeah, this is fucking great, isn't it?
Get this shot. This is fucking good.
The lighting. All right, we're green. So here we are. We're driving along in Wildwood. It is almost dusk. Is dusk the correct term for this, Rich?
It is.
It is. So we have an array of cars behind us, and Mr. Sam is in the back seat of this Mark III Cabrio taking photographs so that we can get some fantastic rolling shots. Now this gives me very nostalgic feelings. Now Rich, give us a little talk about nostalgia and how you feel about just this activity in general, since you're a veteran of this world.
This reminds me a lot of the early days of going to Waterfest and H2O, and I know it sounds like a broken record, people saying the same thing, but I can't agree with them more. It's exactly what it was like in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, everyone's behaving, everyone's just here to have fun, bullshit, and hang out. For instance, next to us right now is a truck that I've never physically seen. I've followed it online. I don't know if Rich has, but his name is Paul Lehman, and it's all a home build in his garage over, I don't know, I want to say 5 to 6 years.
I think so.
And it's a fantastic Manila green Rabbit pickup truck with a 2-liter 16-valve on ITBs. It's kind of a mini truck scene style truck, but with our current modern VW twist. Is that a good way to put it, Rich?
I think that's spot on. It's definitely a throwback to like a mini truck era, but with a Volkswagen twist.
I don't know if you can hear it right now, but you know, the sound of the ITBs rolling by, it just never gets old, even though the typical car person would say a little shitty 4-banger. But as we speak, another small 4-banger, this one's on carbs. We saw it much footage earlier. Brett Sloan's Rabbit with a 2-liter 16-valve on carbs, ripping by on Ronell turbos. This is fantastic, seeing 2 Mark 1s in the flesh rip by us. Do you have anything to say about this, Rich?
Those are magnesium Ronell turbos, just to make sure that we're giving him props.
Yeah, and as we know, the magnesium might as well be called unobtainium. Very fragile. There's a lot of sensitivities to them. What else do we have coming up in our lane? Oh, followed behind them is Anthony Mealie coming up with a car that Swoops built for him. He did all sorts of really cool one-off bits for that car. Here comes one that I have followed for many years. I don't know if Rich has. His handle online is Paquette VW. It's a 2020 swap from Quebec, of course. ABA bottom end, AEB head with ITBs and micro squirt. He's running 13-inch wheels with some appropriate tires. This thing handles well. It has a large cage in it. It's a fantastic car owned by a fantastic guy.